Good Friday morning. We're starting it off good here. I'm Stephen McCollum, and you're watching McCollum on Business here on this Friday. Of course, we're here 7 a.m. Monday through Friday. Appreciate you joining us here on this Friday. Of course, President Trump's over in China. What we told you about yesterday, well, that was all announced yesterday officially with last night's programming of there around the president and the China visit. So not a lot of new updates there, as he is still over there and working through negotiating that side of things. So we got other things to talk about in the Middle East, of course, other national, local stories that you need to know. We'll also get into the market watch here on this Friday. Protect yourself, folks, as that's coming up in just a second. We're going to look at stocks that matter as well today, and stocks we're paying attention to. So let's get into all of it with the market watch. It's not fun out there, folks, at all. Tech is pulling back here this morning, and that, along with lots of other news out there, is just taking down the market here on this Friday as well. And, ooh-wee, I know, sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but yields are spiking today is also the problem on the market besides that tech pullback. The Dow Jones right now down the 446 points to 49,622. The S&P 500 down 86 points to 7413. The Nasdaq's down 442 points. Remember the tech pullback happening right now. Nasdaq's down to 26,192 for the Nasdaq. The Russell 2K also down big today, 58 points to 2801 for that small cap index. Obviously, Bitcoin going right along with this trend, down also below 80,000 here in the first 30 minutes or so of trading, 78,901 for Bitcoin here today. As I told you, yields are spiking this morning. Trump reportedly told President Xi, the Chinese president, I don't talk about whether U.S. would defend Taiwan from China. So those, in terms of protecting Taiwan, supposedly not talked about in that summit as well. So Trump does say President Xi did offer help on Iran, and that conversation happened. That's something new. But, of course, Boeing, other CEO stuff. We told you yesterday, NVIDIA is able to sell their H200 chips over there in China as well to about 10 companies. So all of that's happening. 30-year Treasury yield has topped 5.1% here this morning as well. This is the big talking point. Highest amount in nearly a year for the Treasury year's 30 yield. So not only mortgages are going to be affected here and going even higher, Treasury yields, and the market obviously does not like this news as well. Stocks we are paying attention to, well, the tech pullback is obviously the other thing besides Treasury yields the market is looking at. So let's look at some chip stocks. First one we're going to look at, Marvell Technology out there, down 3.29% here today as well. So a big amount of semiconductor companies are lower today. The iShares Semiconductor ETF, well, it's on pace to break its strict 6-week win streak here today with these stocks down as well. Marvell Technology down 3.24%. Intel, which has obviously a big presence here in Phoenix, their stock is down 7.06% after going on a pretty big run here lately. We don't have graphs on these two, but ASML, ARM, they're both down about 3.5% here today for them. Advanced Micro Devices, AMD, well, they're down as well here today. That's our other stock we're looking at here. Advanced Micro Devices, well, they're down 4.20% right now. And then, well, there is some good news in the chip maker side. Well, maybe not today, but overall, Cerebras Systems is the company name. Came on the market yesterday, IPO yesterday. Good timing for the IPO. Why? It was up at least 90% at one point yesterday, ended up closing 68% in its NASDAQ debut yesterday. Well, obviously, with the tech sell-off here today, they're down big, 10.31%. But like I said, hitting 90% at one point yesterday, 68% is up is where it closed on its debut. but it is down backwards with this tech sell off today, 10.95% right now. When we come back later and look at stocks, we're going to look at Magnum Ice Cream. There's a recently spun off company. Well, some things are happening with it. Boot Barn, for those of you that like the boot scooting on the weekend, yeah, we're going to look at their stocks as well. Papa John's in the news, and we'll stay local with Freeport McMoran as well, and look at those gold and precious metals stocks along with Freeport McMoran coming up later on in the program. But first, we told you President Trump is over in China. We've given you the things that had leaked yesterday, and as I said, some new things came out, but it was new things around helping with the war in Iran and that side of stuff. You know, we talked about the Boeing orders that should be coming, the NVIDIA chips. So we want to slip away from that side of the economy story. We're going to talk oil here because the United Arab Emirates, right, UAE over there in the Middle East, they say they're going to double its capacity to export crude oil. And they're going to be able to do that because they're going to bypass the Strait of Hormuz. And now it's going to take a year to do so, 2027. But UAE is trying to reduce reliance on that strait, which obviously is a big checkpoint, as we found out here with this war in Iran. So a company called Abu Dhabi National Oil Co. They're accelerating the construction of the pipeline that's going to run from the port of Fujairah on the Gulf of Oman. So they're accelerating this to get it done quicker. Yes. Where else do they post it? On X, that they're doing this. The company already operates a 1.5 million barrel a day conduit from its oil fields to the port on the eastern coast of Oman. And then you see there on the map, if you not familiar with that area, who is, right? You can see it just bypasses completely the Strait of Hormuz there and comes out that other side of the shipping era into the Gulf of Oman there as well. So, obviously the Strait of Hormuz is a choke point here, and they want to bypass that moving forward. But the existing pipeline that's currently there, that 1.5 million barrels a day, well, it's helped UAE continue to supply markets, offsetting the hit to oil revenue, as that Strait of Hormuz and the normalcy there has been cut down for these last 2 months as well. So they had already been planning this new pipeline expansion, as the current link can carry less than half of its normal export volumes. So they wanted to add this second one. They're rushing through it here to get it up and running next year. So I did a little bit of research, and because how is oil coming out of this with the oil tankers not going out in regularity, et cetera? I found out that UAE and Saudi Arabia, those two specific countries over there, they're the only major Gulf producers able to get significant quantities of crude to market during this war. These state oil companies of both countries have quietly managed to ship some cargoes out of the Gulf in recent weeks, avoiding the Iranian blockade. But also, the other reason they're able to do it, these pipelines. They're the two countries that have pipelines that can bypass that Strait of Hormuz as well. Accelerating the pipeline's construction, well, if you remember, this was probably a reason why UAE, we told you about this a week or two ago, their decision to exit the OPEC organization here. They're going to be freed of the group's production limits on the OPEC side, and they're going to be able to do as much or as little as they want to for the global market as well. The UAE has said it will be able to respond more nimbly to market demands amid this disruption caused by the war. And basically, they're looking to continue to make oil money when everything else is shut down over there. So some relief possibly coming. 2027, though, we do have to wait for. Back here on the United States side, right, we all know Spirit Airlines shut down abruptly back on May 2nd. But now they're facing a proposed class action lawsuit as well after the shutdown. How does this work, right? A company has no money in theory. Well, they have some out there, and some of the people that are owed money are able to sue to get in line for what's left. This lawsuit was filed May 12th in the Southern District of New York, and it was filed on behalf of former employees. Well, they claim the company violated federal labor laws when it quickly shut down operations on May 2nd. right? They reduced the workforce by about 17,000 employees. No advance notice of doing it. They just sent a notice out at that time. According to some planes, a couple planes were still in the air when they shut down. According to the complaint, Spirit Airlines seized operations and informed employees the same day in an email from company leadership. The complaint alleges the company told employees in an email at that time that it was unable to give more advance notice of the layoffs, and the reason they give in the letter, quote, because the company was actively seeking capital to avoid these layoffs and closures, and notice would have precluded the company from obtaining that capital needed, unquote. Well, they didn't get it anyway, right? So that was a little blurb included in the filing this week in this class action lawsuit. The complaint claims that workers immediately lost their jobs, their benefits, and access to company systems at that specific time. They say they're accrued and owed accrued vacation and sick pay. Workers were allegedly told they would be paid through May 2nd of 2026, and that's it. However, this suit alleges many workers have still not received final paychecks or compensation for unused vacation and sick time that they're due per the agreements that these unions have with the airline. The former employees are seeking damages equal to 60 days of wages and benefits, all under that WARN Act, right? The Worker Adjustment and Retraining Notification Act. Now, the U.S. Department of Labor requires the WARN Act within 30 to 60 days, depending on where you're at there. But the Department of Labor describes that act as helping to ensure advance notice in cases of qualified plant closings or mass layoffs. And they didn't do that. So it's going to be interesting to see how it moves forward. The plaintiffs are the plaintiffs are also asking the court to certify the case as a class action, so it'll cover all affected Spirit workers. And like I said, there's 17,000 of them out there. And there's money in Spirit. They're winding down operations. That's a big project. And now everybody that is due money is lining up, and this lawsuit will get the employees in line there to get some of that money that is left over there with Spirit and what they are going through. If you've been job hunting lately or you want to change careers, and I'll just put it this way, assist the computers to putting you out of a job in the future. Well, artificial intelligence developers, you can do this, folks. The developers want to know what you know in your specific industry. Leading makers of generative AI tools are hiring people with a wide range of skills and expertise. So, screenwriters, book writers, hiking enthusiasts, a whole range of things. I even saw and I'll get to the list here in a little bit, but air traffic controllers. Well, they want you with those specific fields to train their bots to be smarter. Yeah. Basically, train the robots to put you out of your job. AI companies recruit people to help train their apps. And training agents is going to become the largest job category in the world, according to several entities out there. Job postings, they don't typically disclose which AI developers are actually hiring. Workers who do take a job must sign non-disclosure agreements also. AI companies are looking for a variety of people to help improve their models. Like I told you earlier, creative writers, screenwriters, air traffic controllers, litigators, improv actors, communication pros, photo editors, musicians, and venture capitalists are big categories right now that they're trying to fill to train these robots, specifically AI out there. But they're also looking for foreign language speakers and doctors. Medical advice from AI coming your way soon. Now, these are high-paying jobs. AI training jobs for recruits, well, it pays an average of $105 an hour. Some people can earn considerably more. For instance, the example in the article I saw said basically a psychologist. If they can develop a system for the thing, it pays up to $305 an hour to train the system on some of the programs that you could put into place for psychology and things like that. So, want to change jobs? Want to help the robots? Well, there you go, folks. Look for those. I have heard through the grapevine that those jobs are posted everywhere out there. So if you're interested in at least going that route and you have a specialty field, definitely check that out as well. Kind of a follow up here, but it's a new story, but it's a follow up to those two Boeing crashes that happened. Of course, one was Ethiopia and India was the other one several years ago now, right? A lot of these lawsuits were settled outside of court, but one did go to trial, and a jury in Chicago yesterday awarded $49.5 million in damages to the family of a 24-year-old American who did die in that 2019 Boeing 737 MAX crash. It was brought by relatives, this lawsuit was. The gentleman's name was Samia Stumo, excuse me as I stumble over his name, Samia Stumo. He died in that March 2019 Ethiopian Airlines crash that claimed 157 lives. The jury, how long did it take them to decide? About 2 hours. They found that the total amount of damages suffered by plaintiff is $49.5 million after 2 hours. If it's that quick of a decision, that tells you they were leaning that way the whole time. Nearly all of the civil lawsuits around the crash have been settled out of court. As I told you, though, this one went through the court. Well, in this case, the family had been unable to reach an agreement with Boeing ahead of the trial, and that trial began on Monday, over now, on Wednesday, and the jury came back on that side. And kind of what I'm interested in, I could not find this for probably obvious reasons, but what are the settlement amounts with the regular families? Did they make more money going through this process? Or did they lose money? Was there more money to the other side? It's kind of a curiosity I have here on which was the proper way to go. And look, a lot of the settlements is just to put it behind you as a family, right? You lost a family member or multiple family members, and you don't want to just years of fighting from that. So you kind of settle it and move on with your lives out there. So normally we end the show with a food story or two, right? If we can. Well, I got a treat for you today. Two fun little stories. One about food, a snack you can say, coming up right now. And then later on the show, we're going to talk some beer as well for you fans out there. Again, not so different from the Miller Lite one yesterday. But for you Nutella fans, I don't understand you. I think this stuff is gross. But now Nutella fans, you can have a new option here if you go into your freezer aisle. Yes. So the Nutella's parent company is called Well Enterprises, if you don't know. They announced on May 13th, Nutella ice cream. Yeah, it's now available at your grocery store nationwide in the freezer aisle. It's available in two formats. A 14 fluid ounce container starting at $4.36. Obviously, the price will depend on your retail chain. But it also comes in a 3-ounce single-serve cones available starting at $5.47. Yeah, that's for a 4-pack, by the way, $5.47 for a 4-pack. Again, pricing will vary by retail and where you are in town, but a Nutella ice cream. Yeah. Don't forget, they also announced a promotion, or don't forget. They also announced a promotion that pairs the release of their new ice cream. It's called the Freezer Fridays. It features a limited time giveaway running through May where customers can enter to win free Nutella ice cream. All you got to do is tag a friend on social media. Let them know about the Nutella ice cream out there for you Nutella fans. But don't forget, last month they also unveiled the Nutella Peanut, the first flavor innovation, as they call it, in its history. That's out now as well. So, remember, I told you about this, but I'll just give you a refresher if you're also didn't hear about this, Nutella fans. Nutella Peanut delivers a new taste of experience that blends the unmistakable creaminess of Nutella with the delicious taste of roasted peanuts. Yeah, so 2 new Nutella options. One last month and now ice cream this month, folks. Go get it, Nutella fans. Good luck to you. Hey, folks, when we come back here at McCollum on Business on this Friday, we keep it rolling. We'll come back, look at the stock market again. Unfortunately, it's a tough day out there. Treasury yields going through the roof. 30 years at 5.1% right now, highest number in at least a year. Plus, we're going to talk local stories. Yeah, data centers. Been telling you all along, data centers are the reason one of the big reasons your house appliance or your business electricity bills are going through the roof. We're going to talk about that with APS coming up, plus some more things out there, including how many jobs are available in Arizona compared to people. Talk about that as well. Plus, like I said, PBR, Pabst Blue Ribbon, doing something. Yeah. You guys will have to decide if you want it or not. Come on back, McCollum on Business. And we're back here, McCollum on Business. You just saw the ad there for, well, the Real Matrix out there today at noon. Robot TV, Rumble, also favorite podcast system. New episode coming out. It's a potpourri of lies episode here today. Not moon landing, excuse me. The Challenger lies, some other lies out there. A full episode coming up. Don't forget, at noon today as well, go to rumble.com/user/TME media, and it pops right up for you there. If you go over to the channels button on the top of your screen there when you get to Rumble, hit channels. It'll take you to the Real Matrix channel as well. All of our on-demand programming is over there at Rumble right now. And for those of you, and there's a lot of you that are listening to the podcast version of that show, also just search The Angry Patriot. Search The Real Matrix, The Angry Patriot, etc. It comes right up for you on your favorite podcast system as well. There, noon today, new episode out for you. Then, of course, as soon as we get done here, we roll into the main event. Dale Hillestray is off today. You know, he's having another granddaughter. Well, he's not. His daughter's having a baby, and so he's dealing with all of that, things happening around that with the other kids and helping out there. So it's just me today on the main event. Obviously, Cardinals schedule is out. NFL schedule, we'll go in-depth on that coming up as well. As soon as we're done, we put these shows up on demand, Robot TV, YouTube, TME Media AZ. You're going to want to follow the YouTube page. I know a lot of you do. Like I see Ann in here chiming in this morning on our chat. Well, we'll look at that here in just a second. But TME Media AZ, live programming, as well as all of our demand stuff, except for the Real Matrix. That's over only at Rumble as well. Of course, the main event has its own podcasting system, TME Sports Show. Follow them on X, or just search the main event with Steven or the main event with Dale. It does pop up for you. The Pit Stop, well, racing this weekend gets underway today over at Dover with the Truck Series. The Pit Stop is up right now on your favorite systems, including your favorite podcasting system, right? Just search the Pit Stop Talk or the Pit Stop with Steven. It pops up on your favorite podcast system. TME Media AZ on YouTube, rumble.com/TME user/TME media. Just go to that channels button. If you struggle to find it on the main page, the channel button will get you to the individual channels as well. Don't forget to follow TME Media AZ on X as well, the parent company here, and we'll be putting things out that you need to know around the company and shows and things coming your way here starting this summer as well. So appreciate you joining us here. And before we move on, into the market watch and stuff like that, and does say you piqued my daughter's interest in the Nutella ice cream. Yeah, that's what we're here for. Ann does say we tried the Nutella peanut after hearing it about it on McCollum on Business. Yeah, they say they were not impressed with the new flavor of Nutella out there. So there you go. And let me know how the Nutella ice cream is. I'm I am curious how good if it's good or not from Nutella fans. I'm not a Nutella person, so I won't try it. But for the fans out there, right? That's what it's made for. I want to know what it's like as well in terms of that ice cream. And folks, with all that being said, let's get right back into that market watch. Treasury yields are spiking today, as we've talked about. It's up to 5.1% right now, highest in nearly a year. That and, tech stocks being sold off today as well. Market is down. Everything's in the red. Dow Jones right now down to 396 points. The S&P 500 is down to 71 points. Nasdaq's down 361 points. And the Russell 2K, that small cap index, is down 54 points here today as well. Bitcoin not escaping it, falling even farther below 80,000 today, 79,018 right now for Bitcoin. So yield spike is the biggest issue. Tech pullbacks the second biggest issue. No terrible news coming out of the meeting there with President Xi and, of course, President Trump. No bad news coming out of that side. I do see a blip here that just came out. Starbucks to lay off 300 U.S. employees. They're going to shutter some regional support offices. So Starbucks getting into more of the layoff side of things as well. Detroit automakers have cut more than 20,000 U.S. salary jobs, all because of AI and that level of things over the last years and stuff is what we're talking about as well. We told you about Caribus stock earlier in the show. They had a 90% at one point yesterday, but it ended up only up 68% in its debut, down over 10% here today as well. So let's look at the stocks right now, specific ones, see if we can find any good ones out there. The first one we're going to look at is Magnum Ice Cream. Make ice cream, make frozen food, spin off there as well, type of a company. They're up 11.78% here today. As well. They did come down as the market opened and going back up right now as well. Was 17% up here when the market's open. Well, Reuters reported that Blackstone and CD&R, they're just a couple of the firms considering to bid for Magnum Ice Cream Company. Potential bidders are waiting to see summer sales before making any moves to purchase Magnum Ice Cream. And so they're up 11.65% right now, based off of that Reuters report out there. And then for those of you going boot scooting, that's right, Boot Barn Holdings, we're going to take a look at here as well. They're up 0.22% right now for them. You can see the stock today has gone up and down, up and down, up and down. They were up in the 8% range in pre-market trading, but they had a revenue beat in its fiscal fourth quarter. Boot Barn reported $538.8 million in revenue. The expectation was only $531.2 million as well. Earnings came in slightly higher than expected. Boot Barn up today, 0.44% right now for them. And they've had a volatile day if you look at that map there. Up and down and up and down. And then there's Papa John's International, the pizza company there, up 6.04% here today. Reuters reported that their largest franchisee, well, they're the ones looking to buy the company. Usually you hear the company buying the franchisee, like Dutch Brothers is buying a 29-store, Dutch Bros, I should say. I know I like to say brothers as a joke, and then I'd bring it onto the show on my professional side. But Dutch Bros is buying out one of their biggest franchisees here in Arizona, 29 stores. You usually hear it going that way, but no, a franchisee is looking to buy the whole company, according to Reuters as well. It's called Earth Capital, is working with the franchisee, owns 10% of the company's domestic restaurants. They want to take the company private there. So Papa John's International up 5.75%. with that news as well. And then let's go look at a local company here, Freeport McMoran, as a bonus stock here today, down 4.73% here today. Well, minor metals, let's put it this way, metals as a whole have sold off today in Friday's trading. Gold and silver have fallen. Gold has fallen 2%. Silver's fallen 7% here today as well. Copper, which Freeport McMoran is most known for, it's down 4% today as well. So the precious metals falling today also means that the miners are falling today as well. And we just gave you the Freeport McMoran being, obviously big presence here in Arizona with our copper mining there. So a couple industries taking a big hit here on this Friday as well. And folks, speaking of taking a hit, well, I've been telling you guys for a while, data centers are causing your electrical and water prices to go up. You're paying more as a homeowner or a business if you have commercial space because of these data centers. You want more proof? Arizona Public Services parent company, yeah, they reported first quarter sales growth well above average for the utility. They say the heat wave in March and was it end of February, beginning of March, that big heat wave where we hit 100 already. Well, they say that was a big factor in it. But the bigger factor that they don't want it to be out up front is industry growth out there. The parent company, if you don't know, for APS is Pinnacle West. They reported that weather normalized energy sales increased by 9.4% compared to the same time last year. They say that's largely due to an influx of commercial and industrial customers. Data centers, folks, semiconductor industry, those big, huge buildings producing a lot of energy and water use. I know APS is different for water, but data center and semiconductor industries leading the drive here for APS to record growth. But they still want a 14% increase to you folks. You, the homeowners out there, what they want. You're paying for these data centers and semiconductor buildings out there. $1 billion entities. And they want you to pay 14% more on top of your other increases because of their increase. Pinnacle West reports that the heat wave also meant people drew energy levels that usually aren't seen until May. This unusual growth for APS comes as they are seeking that approval, as I said, for 14% rate increase throughout the state. Those hearings are starting up again next week. Yep, folks, they don't care about you, the homeowner. Yeah, record sales for them, record profits. But they don't care. They just want the data centers to keep growing, and they want you, the homeowner, to keep paying more double-digit growth out there. Makes me sick, to be honest with you, with APS and that power company. Now, Mesa. Let's go to Mesa here on the other side of town, which generally doesn't deal with APS. And Mesa is going to get on the global soccer stage. We are less than a month away from the World Cup here. Yeah, Turkey's men's national team there for soccer. They're going to base their World Cup training over at the Arizona Athletic Grounds over in East Mesa, right there on the Queen Creek Mesa kind of border by the Mesa Gateway Airport out there. The Arizona Athletic Grounds is going to serve as the Turkey's team home away from home during the 2026 World Cup. It is expected to funnel international players and visiting fans into Mesa in the weeks before the tournament. It's also going to help out Queen Creek as well. I mean, if you come out of that place and you take a left, you got Queen Creek right there, and a lot of hotels, lots of food right there. You go right, and you got the same thing on the Mesa side as well. So there's a large Valley Turkish community that's really excited for their team to come here as well. The team will use the complex for training sessions and media preparations. Then they'll fly out to their group stage matches across the West Coast and Canada. They do have a group stage tournament in Canada, but they also play the U.S. over in SoFi, over in L.A., so they'll train here, practice here, boom, get on a plane, fly out for their games as well for as long as they are in this tournament. And then, next story up here, right, we got to talk a little bit about jobs and labor supply. As of May 2026, we have reporting here that Arizona has a labor surplus of 49,000 more unemployed workers than there are available job openings out there. We're the ninth highest imbalance in the United States. An analysis of March 2026 data shows a ratio of 1.40 available workers per job opening. Well, that indicates a very soft market and rising layoffs and declining job growth, hurting those markets even more out there. So, heads up, if you're looking for a job or wanting to change careers or anything, be patient with it. And the easiest time to do it is when you have a current one as well. Arizona has experienced a slowdown there. 8,600 jobs lost year over year as of March 2026, as we told you. 8,600 jobs. Wow. Now, layoffs aren't ending, right? Benchmark Electronics, Republic National Distributing, they've all contributed to the rise of unemployment numbers here in Arizona as well. A big layoffs coming on that side. But the workers' surplus, it's a significantly lower than some of the around us. California, they have a 494,000 person over job surplus. But we are higher than any other state, California is, placing it along major markets with high unemployment to job ratios like New York and Illinois at the same time. So we get this information from bestbrokers.com. They used information from the U.S. Chamber of Commerce Workforce Data Center and also the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics as well. So it's a challenging environment for job seekers as well, even though we have economic development projects, big ones out there. So keep your head up there, folks, as you are trending this marketplace as well. And let's look at Arizona's international exports as well. Here, some better news here. The international exports actually surged by 37%. It went to a record $44.4 billion in 2025, the second fastest growth rate in the United States as well. There's rapid expansion. Well, it's up from $32.4 billion. That's a big increase, largely driven by technology products. Shouldn't be a shocker for you there. Mexico does remain a top trade partner with Arizona, accounting for nearly 1/3 of the total export volume. Goes to Mexico as well. So some good news on this side of things on our exporting continues to remain high and bigger, which makes sense, right? Taiwan Semiconductor, are they shipping some of this stuff out in terms of exports to other countries, et cetera, et cetera. By the way, the high export volume, well, Arizona's strong manufacturing presence. I just talked about Taiwan Semiconductor, for instance. But we do rank number 4 in the nation for semiconductor employees, 24,431 workers. Number 5 in aerospace manufacturing. We have 32,589 workers in those two fields as well. This growth on that side contributes to the broader economic expansion. Well, the GDP in Arizona reached $460.6 billion. That's a 5.3 growth rate, annual rate there from 2020 to 2025. Our labor force, well, it did exceed 3.8 million as well, but, we just had that story before saying that we do also have a surplus moving forward. And then finally, folks, here, we talked about this before, right? The Smoothie King Grillo Pickle Smoothie. Well, you have another thing for you, pickle lovers out there. Well, dill pickled, there's dill pickled Oreos we've talked about here. The Smoothie King, there's liquid LV hydration drinks out there and pickles. Well, folks, add another thing. Pickle beer is now available. I know other companies have pickle beers, but this is a big one here and everything. But they say, I don't know anybody that's done this, beer drinkers have been putting pickles and pouring pickle juice into their brews for a long time. I don't know anybody that does that. Maybe I just don't pay attention. Yeah. Some call it a South Dakota martini when you put a lager and a pickle together. Maybe that's how out of touch I am. I've never heard of that. But Pabst Blue Ribbon, folks, and Grillo's Pickles. Grillo's Pickles is getting their pickles into everything these days. The Smoothie King Smoothies is the last one. These two companies have joined forces to make it official. There's a limited edition PBR Grillo's Pickle Beer available now. 4.7% ABV lager. And it has a bright, tangy profile that balances the maltiness of PBR's classic lager with a crisp, dill-forward punch that tastes unmistakably Grillo's. So they said in a press release. You can find the beer while supplies last, limited edition, Albertsons, Safeway, Walmart, Total Wine, and more. For those of you that are watching this show, we see you guys out there in the United States watching us all throughout the states. Publix has it as well. Food Lion has it as well. By the way, if you want it shipped to you, well, go to GoPuff and they'll deliver it as well. If you can't find it, you want to search for the pickle beer. Well, Pabst Blue Ribbon has made it easy for you. There's a pickle beer finder on its website. It's the beer now. They describe it as a bright, briny, and unapologetically dill forward. Literally what they said. Also on their website, you can find merchandise, baseball caps, shirts, hoodies, Grillo's, pickles, Pabst Blue Ribbon, folks. Pickle beer. Is that 2026? Is that what we want? You guys might. I would actually probably go for the Nutella stuff before I go with the Pabst Blue Ribbon stuff, to be 100% honest with you out there. Appreciate you guys joining me this week, whether it be live on Robat TV, live on YouTube at TME Media AZ, of course, on demand later on the day on Rumble, rumble.com/user/TME Media, or on the YouTube page, or however you catch us. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you on Monday, 7 a.m. as well. So come on back. Do what the weekend holds for us in the business world. Main events coming up next, live here at TME Media AZ, 8 to 10 a.m. Come and join me. Get you ready for the weekend, NFL schedule talk and everything. It'll be a fun show. So come over and join me, or catch us on demand later on if your boss is a sleigh driver and making you go to work, folks. We'll see you later. Have a great weekend, everyone.